Oh, come on.
Robert is in need of a second date update this morning with Megan. Hi, Robert.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going. Why don't you tell us how you met Megan, how the first date went? We'll go from there.
Yeah, so I met Megan actually at a church festival, of all places, waiting in the beer line.
Nice.
Yeah, well, Jesus, water, and the wine makes sense, right? So anyway, she was there with a few friends, and I was there with a couple buddies, and we actually all just ended up hanging out as a big group and talking, and there was definitely some chemistry between her and I. And I just asked her for her number, and she gave it to me. So that was good, right?
Yeah, for
Nicely
sure.
done.
Hey, thanks. So the next day, I reached out and I asked, hey, do you want to go to the Reds game? And she was totally down with that. She's a big sports fan, which is awesome because, I love the Reds and the Bengals, and I've never dated a woman that's, really into sports. So, I don't know, it was a huge plus.
Yeah.
So, we go to the game. It was totally cool. We're flirting, holding hands. She's touching my thigh. I'm thinking it's going great,
Yeah.
So we get through the game. Then we head to the Grail. We have a couple more beers. And then we just end up grabbing separate Ubers and heading home because, we live in opposite directions. And that was about it. I was hoping we'd end up in the same place, but she said she needed to go home and she was tired, a maybe next time. So I didn't want to push it too hard. And that's about it. That was the last time I heard from her. No response to my texts or my calls or anything.
Oh, no.
Was there a hug or anything exchanged?
There was a quick kiss, so it seemed like everything was cool.
And you got him maybe next time, so that's something.
I did. I felt like the door was open, and now I don't know why, I'm not getting any response here.
Okay. No tentative plans were made or anything like that?
No plans were made, no.
Anything happened near the end of the night that may have changed that? Because you said she all of a sudden seemed tired.
I mean, not that I can think of. Like I said, we were hanging after the game, having beers, and the conversation kept going. So I'm truly at a loss.
Okay. Well, why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we'll just call her up and see what's been going on with her.
All right, sounds good.
See what she's been up to. Yeah. The story of Robert and Megan, second date update, continues on Cincinnati's Q102.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Summer's here. You don't want to be running that AC nonstop. Keep that cold air inside with new energy-efficient windows from Universal Windows Direct. Hi, it's Tim. Call for a free estimate. 513-755-1800.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I love that Robert and Megan met in the beer line at a church festival.
I do too.
Isn't that
That's a great
start?
place. Yeah, you kind of know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah. They had instant chemistry, hit it right off. So he asked her for her phone number. They made a date to go to the Reds game. They go to the Holy Grail afterward for a couple beers. Everything seemed fine. But she did kind of have to dip out because she said she was tired, had to work the next day. And
It's kind of like the Cincinnati dating trifecta. You got Grail.
I just wrote on myself with marker.
Sorry, Fritz just completely wrote all over her face with a marker.
On accident.
Were you itching yourself?
oh my God, what did you do?
I thought it was cool.
She thought the cap was on it and she was itching her face.
It itched my face and I
It's still all over.
She just
Hold on.
created a mustache with a red marker.
Sorry about that. You should
That's
Anyway.
really
get a mirror
funny.
out. But I was going to say, it's the trifecta. So you got dating at the Reds game, the Holy Grail, and a church festival.
That's the best combination. And because they live in separate directions, they both got in their own separate Ubers and went their separate ways. And that was the end of that. She never spoke to him again.
Seems weird.
Yeah, we're going to try to call her up and see what's going on. If you're ready, Robert,
Yeah, let's do it.
anything else you think we need to know before we call her up?
Not that I can think of, no.
Hello?
Hi, is this Megan?
Yeah, who's this?
Hi, Megan. It's Jeff and Jen at Q102. How are you this morning?
Okay. Why are you guys calling?
So you got a few minutes to come on the radio with us?
I guess. Why?
We spoke to Robert, who you met in the beer line at the church festival, and he said you were great. He seems to really like you. Told us all about your date, hanging out at the Reds game, going to the Holy Grail after. And I think he wants to see you again. And he might have reached out a couple times and never heard back. So we just thought we'd check in and meet the lady behind the legend.
I think he didn't hear back for a reason. That date was it was such a disappointment. Like, it was going so well. Like, I was really into him. You know, I thought maybe it could lead to something, but then he pulled this really douchey move, and I was completely turned off. That was it.
At what point did this happen? Was this at the game or at the Grail?
So we were walking around the banks, and some random girl yelled his name. And I mean, this is crazy. He turned, looked at her, and then, you know, he grabbed my hand and was like, come on. And like, we walked away. Like, it was weird. He was like totally avoiding her. So of course I asked, like, who was that, you know? Mm-hmm. And I am not joking. He said, some girl I fingered at a party once.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, seriously? So, I mean, that was it for me. Like, completely unnecessary and just gross.
Case dismissed.
Thank you.
Robert.
I mean, you don't always got to tell the truth, dude. Just so you know.
I mean, I was being honest and completely transparent here.
Clearly.
Like, she's kind of crazy. And I run into her like every once in a while when I'm out, and she always corners me and wants to talk, and she thinks we should be dating. It's always awkward and uncomfortable. I mean, also, this was years ago. So, yeah, maybe I'm just too used to just saying it out loud. But I was telling the truth. You know, at this party, we were both drunk. I mean, I didn't sleep with her.
Okay. I mean, you couldn't say something like, oh, this girl I used to know, she's a little crazy, or like, I dated her. Like, that's fine. You know,
gave her the old Mount Healthy handshake.
I mean,
or something, you know?
Is that a thing?
I have no idea. Just made it up.
It is now.
You know, I don't know. Maybe I was just feeling too comfortable with you to tell you the complete truth. I was just trying to avoid an awkward moment for everybody. So I don't see why that's so wrong.
Oh, no, that didn't make me feel uncomfortable at all. That's totally normal. I have never heard somebody say that ever.
I mean,
Like,
would it be
that says a
different
lot about
if I
you.
would have
What are you
said,
gonna
oh,
say
that's someone
about
I
me?
slept with? What makes it different between someone I slept with and someone I honestly?
Oh,
That's
ew.
rude. Are you kidding me? Also, like, what are you going to say about me? Like, let's say we hooked up and I never spoke to you again, which is my plan. Like, what are you going to say about me if I randomly see you? Don't say anything.
I'm just going to say, like, yeah, I used to date this uptight bitch.
Oh,
Okay, that's enough. That's
and
not nice.
you're wondering why I didn't text you back. Really?
Let me ask you something, Robert. If you're on a date with a woman and you're walking down the street with her and all of a sudden she spots a guy, grabs you by the hand and says, let's go. And you're like, wait, who is that? And she says, oh, that's just some guy I gave a BJ to.
Oh, yeah.
I think my chances are pretty good for that BJ then, right?
Oh.
We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got to end it
Yeah.
here.
We gotta wrap this up.
Totes my goats. This has been just a disaster, but thank
All
you.
right. Megan, I'm sorry it deteriorated so quickly, but we appreciate you coming on Second Date Update and explaining your side of the story, and we totally get it now.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Oh, that was short and sweet.
If you
That was a real banger.
need our
Ew.
help with a second date update, send us an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com.
Your